But I want to go through some of the funny reactions, and you guys can help me categorize these if this is denial, anger, bargaining, or depression when it comes to whatever. What do we want to call them? The libs, the Dems, the PMC. I start off mild, and then they get progressively more angry in my mind. So if Kamala Harris had done everything the same, but she was white, a white man, she would have won. It's that simple. Is it that simple, Tony?
No, because isn't Kamala? I mean, Biden's white. So what? I mean, like Al Gore was white. What? John Kerry. No. But Kamala's just the same as John Edwards and John Kerry and all those.
So I'm saying this is denial, but I don't believe for a second that it's because women, the country's so misogynist or sexist that they just can't countenance a female president. I could be wrong, but I don't buy that. And then we have one, Art Candy. This might be my favorite. Don't blame white women, blame uneducated white women. And then Stephen Evans chimes in, I'm blaming the men of any color that couldn't bring themselves to vote for a woman president. I also blame the women that cover for them. That cower to them. And Art Candy's like, same. And then Linez comes in, and weak white women. And Art Candy's like, fact. What do you think? Do you think it's the uneducated white? Do you also blame the uneducated white women?
Garrett?
I thought this was pretty great.
Again, things like this just leave me speechless.
But I love this. So she wants to have her cake and eat it too. So I'm guessing that Art Candy is a white woman and she's an educated. So she's credentialed. So I know I have a PhD and I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Trump either, but if I had to, again, I'll totally admit that if I had to vote, if it was like you either have to vote for Kamala or Trump, I would have voted for Trump. But since I had a different option, I went a different way, bargaining and anger. So Jed, who wants to read this? We need a guy read this, and feel free to make any accent you think is appropriate to Jed.
Garrett, come on, man. Show your acting job.
I'll do my Keith Olbermann.
Okay.
Anyone blaming Harris or Walz today has utterly lost the plot and missed the point. This is fundamentally about America, toxic masculinity, and white supremacy. Blaming Harris would be part of that problem, not the solution. She deserves our thanks. Thank you, Vice President Kamala Harris.
I feel bad for Jed and his wife. Bargaining, denial. So this is why. It's just America's it's that toxic masculinity and white supremacy. That's what it is. So Bug Girl. I'll do the girls. Hey, so I think it's less of male loneliness epidemic and more of like a young men becoming Nazis at a concerningly high rate. That's epidemic. All these young men becoming Nazis. My God. I don't feel safe. I don't feel seen.
It's funny. I remember seeing that on the feed from that young woman, and then I clicked on her page, and she's an OnlyFans girl.
Well, then you better hope it's male loneliness.
Right.
Or I guess lonely Nazis also have money. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Are you trying to say there are young men who aren't Nazis? That's
I want to know where her data is on that. I want to know the data. Where do you get where's your facts at, Bug Girl? How are you measuring this? Why do so many white women hate black women? Oh, fuck you, Dave. Why do you have such a small dick? No, sorry. Sorry, Dave.
Why does he have
private language people, I'm sorry. So why do so many white women hate black women? So Dave wants the pressure to be off him, yeah? So what he wants to indicate with this is like, I didn't do it. I voted for Kamala. I'm man enough to vote for Kamala. But these white bitches, I don't know. They really hate black women. Jesus freaking Congress replies to David, why do so many white men hate all women? Yeah, that's right. So the white women hate black women, but white men hate all women.
It's
I know my politics.
the anti-hate organizations really don't seem to be doing the job, despite all the government and corporate grants they're getting. The hate is multiplying.
Yeah. Let's see what we have next here.
Black men voting against a black woman? Unbelievable. Hispanics voting to round up and to support other Hispanics? Insane. White women voting to take rights away from their daughters and granddaughters? Seriously? What the actual fuck, America? Yeah. It kind of sounds like one of the professors from yesterday.
It's the voice of the highly educated.
It is. This is a highly educated person. Educated in all this and everything that ends with studies. Yeah. So culture studies, film studies, gender studies, indigenous, Episcopalian, polyamorous studies.
Oh, geez. Tara with the jokes. I swear. You know, it's funny because you have such an acute. This is how you know that she's worked in academia, because her jokes are so on point to how it actually is. Huh.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if Joe was really.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
She was a paid person or something, because she was constant. She'd show up in my feed about how fantastic Kamala was and how the women were gonna rise. But Joe's tone has taken a turn. Okay, when you bitches are paying $18 for eggs and being paid pennies to working in the fields because no one else will do it, and your kids work in factory jobs because there's no school to attend, and shit like leprosy comes back, I hope you remember just how hard you own the libs.
Basically saying that Latinos have to work in the fields. That Trump is going to hypothetically kick out all these Mexicans, and white folks, I guess, are going to have to go work in the fields. That's what she's kind of saying.
And leprosy's going to come back. Cool.
Right,
okay. Right. Oh, Mark Hamill. He was more even-handed, though. Trying to be all Jedi, but obviously he's writing his own tweets now. They say we get the leaders we deserve. Either that has just been disproven, or this is not the America we all thought we were living in.
Is he going to do that in his Joker?
Everyone live in Beverly Hills? I don't know, Mark.
Remember when he read the tweets in his Joker voice? He should do that again.
No, most of us don't live in your America, Mark. Welcome.
You know, it's funny, on a side note, Mark Hamill, Hercules, Kevin Sorbo, that we see them like sparring online. Mark Hamill, isn't it funny that like Luke Skywalker will spar with fucking Hercules? That's what's so hilarious about the moment itself.
I guess we learned the ultimate lesson last night. Half this country doesn't give a shit about integrity, character, or democracy. Or democracy. So you have an election. Oh, Garrett, can you do kind of a Shakespearean thing? Can you? I might tear up. I hope I put on the waterproof mascara.
America died today. Hope died today. Freedom died today. Ethics died today. Morality died today. Love died today. Cause of death, ignorance, racism, hate, and greed. Maybe we deserve it, but prepare for the biggest I told you so in history.
People who are ready to get taken out by a drone in Gaza that don't write stuff like this. I mean, it's crazy. People. Jesus, like, get over yourself. Was yesterday the day the music died? I mean, is there no more? Is it really bye-bye American Pie?
The genocide to end all white trans genocides.
So Keith liked Joe's comment. My comrades. At least she knows someone works in the field, so give her some love. It's like, doesn't just open up the fridge like food. Yeah. America got the leader it deserved. The dispassionate observation. Best case scenario, he's a vanishing mediator. We'll see. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, this is actually for you guys. Who else had to pretend to be extremely liberal and heartbroken at work tomorrow for your job security?
I'm fortunate that we're on break at school. So
Michael J. Stern. CNN has a story titled "Where the Harris Campaign Went Wrong." Nope, I won't read it. Harris ran a great campaign. The story should be titled "Where the American People Went Wrong." Now I know where all these things come from. Like, do we have too much democracy? Do we have to rethink the First Amendment? How dare people not vote the way I want them to? Tony?
It's not just that Trump won. It's that Joe Rogan, Dana White, and Brett Favre won. Jailed insurrectionists won. The Alitos and the Thomases won. Vladimir Putin won. Racism won. Misogyny won. Sexism won. Global warming won. Xenophobia won. Most of all, fear won. And that's what hurts.
Is that what hurts, Mike? Change the lube, dude.
It's funny, as a lifelong Green Bay Packers fan, when it said Brett Favre, that actually made me almost laugh. I did not expect that person to put Brett's name in there. Maybe after the Mississippi situation that he had recently, that's probably why.
Those jailed insurrectionists have had it too good for too long.
That's right. That's right. That was a very important podium.
It turns out we shouldn't be abolishing prisons after all. We need prisons for half the country, apparently.
John Pavlovitz apparently thought that Mr. Wise missed some. Here we go. Kamala Harris didn't lose. America did. She's too good for this earth. As a nation, we collectively failed her. And in doing so, we failed girls and women and the LGBTQ community, people of color, Muslims, Jewish people, immigrants, the sick, the poor, the elderly, the people of Ukraine and Gaza, and the planet. Jesus, who voted?
The planet? The planet?
We let the planet down. And this is my favorite.
Are you sure this isn't a joke?
No, this is not a joke. Not. I let me tell you, I know too much about the gender world. So, of course, existing is not a crime. And this is I'm a furry artist, 18 years old, he, him. So as a furry non-binary he, him, who's had apparently their breasts removed, existing is not a crime. Yeah. And I'm just like, deal with it, people. Male, female, done.
Do you think the litter box stories in schools are true?
Probably.
You think so?
I don't even know anymore. Owen Jones stepped in it. So this is like the racism, like, the scratch a liberal, find a racist. I mean, and their racism, Malcolm X was right, man. The liberal racism is more pernicious, insidious. So Owen Jones, apparently he's well known here. He's a well known, I'll say journalist. So I'm going back to my hotel in New York with a Muslim Pakistani American cab driver who voted for Donald Trump because, in quotes, the prices were too high under Biden. So he's making fun of the Pakistani driver who apparently he thinks voted against his own interest. So Roger from Hackney responds, I've been saying it for years and I'll continue to keep saying it. Identity politics is a sinister form of control over ethnic minorities and a sinister form of racism. I agree. We're seeing a lot of that today, this kind of attitude, like, how dare these clients do this to us,
Right.
Like, we needed you to back us. You didn't fall in line. It's really been quite interesting to see how these people got progressively more angry yesterday, or maybe more drunk. I don't know. Oh, here's one. So this is a picture of Kamala touching her chest and like waving at somebody. And Izzy wrote, "Me watching all the Trump supporting Latinos cry when their relatives get deported."
Jeez.
ODIO solidarity. So you don't get this if you have a class-based politics. You don't get this. Abortion for you, immigration policy for you, we'll talk about reparations for you, puberty blockers for you. It's like, okay. This is from, I think this is January Jones from Mad Men, yeah.
Oh.
Me watching him deport the Latinos and the Arab Americans after they voted for him. Oh, here we go.
This one's been going around.
Yeah, you should read this one, Tony.
We have to have a very, very uncomfortable conversation about Latino voters in this country. That's how that person.
So that's why we brought you here. This is a secret intervention, and welcome to the struggle session. I want to know why you didn't do more to get your Trump-loving, self-hating Puerto Rican uncle to vote for Mamala. You let us down, Tony. God damn it.
I don't think he can be reached. But as they would say, right?
Did you not hold enough space for him?
I guess not.
Did you tell him about the trans Latinx youth? Is he not fair? Is he a heartless SOB? Oh, sure, he has his green card, so F everybody else. Well,
I've heard this characterized as a backlash against specifically against Latinx.
Latinos are fighting back a bit. Yeah, call us Latinx again, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the X is. No one's even ever told me what the X is. What's the X? It's like being an
I don't know. Maybe nobody knows. Who knows?
What's X? I'm being serious.
Maybe they thought whoever did that thought, they like the X, so maybe the Latins want one too. I don't know.
What the hell is X? I don't know what no one's ever told me what X is.
Okay. Well, I don't know. So go ahead and read the bottom one since this is geared towards you.
Ah. Well, shit, you're basically asking me to do like a Speedy Gonzalez accent.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
No.
Can you read that in Spanish, please?
No. We're not all illegal, you stupid fuck. Yeah. Many of us have been here for like over 500 years.
Yeah.
You ever hear of the Empire of Mexico?
Yeah. And so this is a good follow around me, OC from Pong. Latinos voted for Trump because they moved to the U.S. to work and make money, not become Latinx.
That's actually true.
I guess you get to read this one, Tony.
You just want me to say.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I can't say it. I literally can't.
This is all your fault, nigga.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah,
Tony?
the shooter, right?
Yeah. So this is all his fault because he missed, apparently. So now we've gotten from some. We're clearly in anger now. We got out of depression and we got out of bargaining and denial. Now this is anger, I guess. Donald Trump is 78. Our only hope now is that he just dies.
That was my favorite of all of them. That one was actually funny. Like just seeing that on the feed, that actually made me laugh when I saw it. I was like, ha!
And then what? So he dies and then it's like one of those things like if the head vampire dies and all the people he infected go back to normal or something. Is that the thinking here?
This shows, and I hope the left that's out there listening, this shows to me as somebody who was 19 years old when Occupy kicked off, then when I was 19, 20, joined my first socialist organization, and then after that joined DSA and all that stuff. This shows that the left, we didn't make any fucking grounds, because the people, these quote unquote people you would think would be more keen to our way of thinking, these people still believe in the Democratic Party. Like, we have not made any fucking ground, that these people still believe in that shit. I mean, we had since 2008, really, since the Great Recession, to kind of kick that mindset out of people. And it,
we've had since the Communist Manifesto.
well, yeah. Well, true.
Well, I said the DSA have a lot to do with, keeping people in the Democratic Party.
True. Yeah, you're right.
I supported the anarchists who protested when the Bernie campaign came to Zuccotti Park and Occupy Wall Street to do their early registration drives.
But they're already the lamestream media, who I don't even know who watches this anymore, but some people do.
Bob Woodward,
they're already trying to talk about Putin. So Bob Woodward says Trump's former DNI, I don't know who that is, Dan Coates, tells me Putin might be blackmailing Trump. Jesus. I mean, the denial and bargaining is fantastic.
I hate reruns.
Yeah, it's like, can you not come up with something else? So Morning Joe is already calling black men and Latinos sexist and racist for not electing the woman overseeing a Holocaust in the Middle East. He said it's not just us whiteys anymore. Of how obnoxious the PMCs are. So Greg Greenwald said, at Slate writer is confounded that J.D. Vance's wife doesn't divorce him. She can't comprehend how a non-white woman could stay with a conservative. Her ultimate answer, she's just obedient to her husband and identifies with her white oppressor.
Yikes.
I think this stuff, I really hope that this is peaked, because it's just the most ridiculous thing. And what it does is it validates the PMC as kind of like what Catherine Liu would say, these virtue hoarders. They have the right politics, the right words. So if either you're on their side, so since she isn't, the only other explanation is that she has internalized white supremacy or internalized patriarchy. That's the only reason that she's also quite accomplished. Yeah. I don't know if she was a lawyer, what was going on. But yeah, the only this idea that they're so convinced that JD Vance is like some sort of super predator that they can only imagine that his wife is totally out. And then they wonder why they alienate people.
True,
Glenn is he's good at trolling. The corporate media spent the last week insisting things were awful for Trump because a comedian's joke enraged Bad Bunny and J-Lo. And because Trump threatened Liz Cheney with execution by firing squad, the media squandered their tiny amount of remaining dignity and for nothing. And I wanted to ask you guys, because you're there more, is this really the end of the line for this model of cable news? Because it's one thing if they just have their small crowd and they're feeding them red meat, but they're wrong all the time.
Right.
So at a certain point, it's like, is this really over? Are we really shifting to the alternative media or the citizen media or the pod space, or I don't know? Or do you even think there's going to be such a thing as CNN and MSNBC in a couple of years? Or
no,
I'm not sure that there'll be a New York Times in a few years. The way things are going, they've probably gotten away with equally bad things in the past. Just no one talks about it.
And now they almost it's almost like they're egging Trump to do something that they could be like, see, we told you. Because if you can't keep on saying someone's Hitler, at some point they're going to have to do something that's at least Hitler adjacent. Or it's comedy now. Mm-hmm. I used to watch it and it used to irritate me, because when you know that you're not just a bit suspicious that it's bullshit, but when you know it's 90% bullshit.
So I think that stuff is like on its way out. 24/7 news and stuff like that. From what I've seen on the ground, people, especially the young, they've moved on to TikTok. Which I didn't even know TikTok until people have told me that TikTok is now becoming that sort of battleground for information and ideas. I know that Eddie Liger, is that how you pronounce his last name? Eddie Liger.
Yeah,
he's a Gen Z kid, and I remember I saw his screenshot of all his TikTok followers, and I was like, "Wow, okay, so he's reaching these kids." And I think that's kind of, it is moving towards citizen media in that way. I think that's a positive, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see if it's just going to be like a kind of a crowdsourcing thing where they're gonna if the people who have CNN and MSNBC are gonna be like, oh, we'll just keep the model, but we just need to bring in fresh faces. So they'll pluck people from the podcast world. Like, you know, hey, Theo Vaughn, would you want to?
They
I don't know
already,
why they would. I don't know why Theo
already-
Vaughn would do that.
yeah, they already do that.
Or they're gonna try to have like their own, like, oh, the people like Rogan. We'll come up. We'll try to find our own or something.
Yeah, they do it with that black guy who was on TMZ, Van Lathan.
I'm just, and I bet maybe why they're really upset today isn't because they really believe all the crap they've been saying, but that they're worried because they were hoping that Kamala would win, and then they were gonna really pull in and, you know, get a handle on this social media problem, this misinformation problem, and the right gatekeepers, like they were gonna be like their position and power is gonna be you know, reestablished. You know, there's just too much information. There's too much misinformation out there. It's their job to, you know, to gatekeep and to filter and all that. But so maybe they're really upset.